Hello, everyone. Welcome to our monthly chat between the Domestic Violence Center of Chester County and LCH. My name is Daphne, and I'm a caseworker at LCH. With me is Maria from the Domestic Violence Center. Hi, Maria.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good.
So, February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. When we amp up, we increase our focus on educating, creating awareness about teen dating violence. It's a great opportunity to talk about healthy and unhealthy romantic relationships. Remember, this is also the month that we celebrate Valentine's Day. A chance to learn the warning signs when something is amiss, and a chance to remind everyone of the help organization like ours can provide. So let's kick it off by talking sort of a little bit of a refresher about healthy versus unhealthy relationships in dating and in romantic relationships. In the past, we've talked about respecting boundaries, communicating to our partners our needs, which means we have to be in touch with our own feelings and letting them know what feels right and what doesn't. It also means listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sharing, mutual respect.
Absolutely. People don't realize how important listening truly is when you're communicating. I think we're so ready to give the next sentence and give the next phrase, and people don't like the awkward silence or the awkward pauses, so they're quick to fill the space rather than effectively listening. So that's always really, really important in any relationship.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And we know that each relationship is unique, is different. Would you like to expand a little bit on that?
So I completely agree that everybody's relationship is different. So you can't, what works for somebody doesn't necessarily work for the next person. And you can't say that this is the rule across the board, because that's just simply not true. There are certain things, just mutual respect, boundaries, listening to one another, that are very effective. That's just human respect, human nature.
That's basic. That should be in every relationship.
101, exactly. But I do think that it is important to remember that, while the next person may, and this is where love languages come in, and communication styles and attachment styles, and it's just so important to learn your partner, and not just in a romantic relationship, but in a interpersonal relationship, whether it be a coworker or a family or a friend, a longtime friend. It's just so important to be understanding of how you communicate, your intentionality, how you like to your day to day. Some people like to talk every day, other people don't like that. They don't feel like they have to talk every day in order to feel connected to a person. So learning all of those things about each other is always gonna take a toll on your relationship, or it's gonna effectively help you to grow as one in your relationship.
That's so true. I mean, I can recall my own, my aunt and my uncle. Very different from the relationship that my own parents had. Both were fine, but very different. My aunt and my uncle didn't do anything without each other. I mean, they went to the supermarket together. They did everything together. Whereas my parents they were more independent. They were, they wanted their space. And so yes, so I agree. Each person comes in with their own different personalities and wants and needs, and each relationship therefore is very unique.
Yeah, I love that about your aunt and uncle. I'm the same exact way with my boyfriend. I want to do everything with him. Quality time is definitely, absolutely, indefinitely my love language all day. And I think that that's such an important thing to know about yourself when going into any relationship, but specifically a romantic relationship. And it's very important that your partners seek to meet that language of love that you feel. It's important for them to learn you. And that goes alongside our conversation of healthy relationships, non-healthy relationships. I've been in relationships in the past that they didn't care to get to know me or how I loved or how I cared for them. It was just all right, you're my girlfriend, it's just what it is. Versus now that I'm in a healthy relationship, it's so different. It's so different to see somebody that loves me well and wants to do life with me and cares to understand me and know me. And that's just so important to be able to distinguish within a relationship.
Yeah, and so we mentioned before that February is also the month where we celebrate Valentine's Day. It's the month of, well, it's the day where, there's this expectation to either receive flowers or chocolates or some kind of special gift. Uh, um, so, but we know that that is not at the heart of a good, healthy relationship. Or that's pretty superficial, right?
Right.
So what's important is listening, being heard, being valued and supported.
Right. And Valentine's Day is like, don't get me wrong, it's such a sweet holiday. Like growing up, my dad used to like give me and my sister Valentine's Day presents. And it doesn't have to necessarily just be with your significant other. I just feel like Valentine's Day is a celebration of love as a whole and the beautiful thing that love is. And that we as human beings get to experience that for one another in whatever facet that may be. I do think it is very important to understand that, like, while the gifts are nice and the chocolate is nice and like it's super sweet to feel celebrated and loved on that day, like it is very important, more so to like seek out a healthy relationship and what that looks like, because the gifts are cute, but like that's not long lasting. Like that's not the essence of your relationship. And it shouldn't lie in just like the cute gifts or celebrating the holidays, but it's more than that. And that's where it comes in, when you have the hard conversations, when you're able to communicate with one another, when you're able to say, you know what, in this moment, I'm really upset with you, but I'm going to walk away and I'm going to come back and we'll revisit this. Like all of those things, when you fight for love and learn how to do so in a healthy way, like that is what I feel like Valentine's Day is really about, like celebrating love and how that looks like as a whole, in the best way.
Yeah, unfortunately, teenagers, I think, are more vulnerable, more prone to probably fall into that Valentine's Day trap, right? They just don't have the maturity or the experience. And so that makes them.
There's so much pressure. There's so much pressure in high school, like to be the one that gets showered with gifts and to be the one that like shows out the biggest way. And like spending money on your significant other is sweet, and it's a loving way to like celebrate that person and reminding them that they're loved. But there's so many other ways to do that. Like, hey, here I thought of this and I wanted to share this with you. Or hey, I saw this movie and I was thinking of you. Like, let's watch it together. Like being intentional in other ways that isn't necessarily giving the biggest gifts or the biggest chocolate or the biggest heart or teddy bear. Like it goes a long way. It's so important. And it's not just on February 14th. Like that's for the rest of the 364 days of the year.
Maria, I heard something the other day that I had never heard before. And I looked it up, and I was a little taken aback as to what it is. Maybe you would like to talk about that. It's called love bombing.
Yes. yes. So specifically in super toxic, unhealthy relationships, love bombing is what the narcissist, or specifically like the abuser, will do to their victim. And it's exactly what it says. It's like they'll bomb you with love. And so they'll give you all the compliments. They'll give you all the kind, sweet words. They'll give you all the love. They'll shower you with gifts. They'll like text you all day, communicate with you all day, call you throughout the day. That's when you give your all. That's when they show their all. But unfortunately, it's with negative and like super unhealthy underlying intentions. And it's so that in 3 to 6 to 8 months to a year, whenever they decide that that's when their limit is up, then they'll turn around and switch it up and they'll do a whole 180. And unfortunately, they will start to pull completely away and won't communicate and won't care to know about your day. And it's far more toxic than just like the day-to-day of a relationship, where like sometimes you may lose a spark and you may feel like you have to get that back. But it's far more dangerous as well, because it's very toxic and it's just painful to watch somebody go through that. I've seen some of my best friends go through the love bombing phase, and then all of a sudden that be pulled right under them, only for the narcissist to like make it all about them and treat you horribly and not communicate with you and not want anything to do with you, and just completely like turn from the way that they were being to actually who they are. And it's really, really sad. And it's horrible across the board, and it happens, and it can happen to anyone, but it unfortunately happens specifically with our younger generation, our 18 to 27-year-olds, because of the fact that, just like you were saying, they're very much more vulnerable, more susceptible to falling into that. And it's just the lack of experience, but also like the naive thinking of like, oh, that will never happen to me. That could never happen to me. And then they find themselves in that unfortunate situation.
So I think we want to remind everybody that February should be celebrated. We should celebrate all kinds of love in the month of February, and that means family, friends. And I heard of another term that that was new to me. Galentine's Day.
Yes, I actually do it with my girls every year.
The 13th and not February the 14th.
Yes, and February 14th actually falls on a Monday, but that 13th falls on the weekend. So me and my girls usually do brunch, or we'll go out to some restaurant for dinner, and it's just to celebrate and
so that's women celebrate their friendship with other women.
Yes, girls empowering girls, women empowering women. So I'm all for it. Please do it. Partake in it. It's the best.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I think I can jump into that celebration. Yes. All right. So we want to remind everyone to contact the Domestic Violence Center helpline if you need assistance. You can also call LCH, and through our mental health counselors, our caseworkers, we can also provide help. And of course, if you're in immediate danger, call 911.